Hey guys, my name's Frank, and this is my workshop. Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. This next project is to put an electric winch on my cherry picker, or engine hoist, or whatever the heck it's called. So this is the same kind of a hoist that you might find at Harbor Freight, or I think I got this from Northern Tool, but I'm not sure. I don't remember. Could have been Tractor Supply. Actually, I think it was Tractor Supply, but it's the same thing that's sold everywhere. It's pretty strong. I mean, I've used it a number of times. Actually, I used it to move my mill, my Bridgeport clone milling machine, which I'm going to say weighs, 2,000 pounds, or maybe a little bit more, 2,500. So I used it to move it across the shop on the concrete floor. So it's plenty strong, but my complaint about it is the pumping it to raise it, especially if you need to raise something a long distance. There's a lot of hydraulic pumping, and then the lowering it, you have to turn the release valve, and lower it slowly. I mean, you can have pretty good control over lowering it, but it is tedious. And if you lower it too far, then you got to change the handle and pump it back up. And so I thought it would be interesting to convert it to electric. And so I went to my local Tractor Supply and bought a little 12-volt electric winch. This one says 3,500 pounds. It looks identical to the one that said 2,500 pounds in the store. I don't know whether it's geared differently. They did not have the 2,500 pound winch in stock, which is what I would have purchased. But 3,500 pounds, if you believe this thing is rated at 2 tons, I mean, that would be 4,000 pounds. So maybe having the 3,500 pound winch is better than having the 2,500 pound winch. Not that I don't see myself winching anything that heavy, but nonetheless, I'm going to put the winch on here. I'm going to mount a couple of sheaves, a pulley here, and a pulley at the end of the inner tube. I'm going to mount the winch down here, keep the center of gravity low. I also have a 12-volt battery that I'm going to install, and we'll see if we can convert this thing to electric and save a little bit of hassle next time we have to use it. All right. I live in a pretty rural area, as I've mentioned in previous videos. I'm 100 miles away from any kind of like a Northern Tool or a reasonably sized city, but I do have a Tractor Supply nearby. So when I was there getting the winch, I got a couple of sheaves or pulleys. I bought this one. I didn't see anything that I really liked, so I bought what I think will work, even though it's maybe not the best solution. So I bought this sheave here. It's got a flat bracket. My plan is to weld that to the end of the boom so that the wire rope coming off of it will be out past the end of the boom. And I mean, one of my objectives is not to disable the hydraulic function, but to add the electric as an option. The second shiv I bought is this pulley, and my plan is to, well, there goes that one. Plan is to weld this one right here like this, so that the wire rope will come up from the winch down below, come straight up over this, around this pulley to the end of the boom. I mean, I'm not happy that there's nothing to hold the wire rope in the pulley, and I will probably attach something, a loop or something over this to keep the wire rope in the pulley. But all right, so that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go ahead and clean some of the paint off of here and off of the pulley, and weld these two pulleys onto the lift. I welded this along the back and then plug welded it through these holes. Most of the force on this is going to be down, so that should be plenty to hold it. So I've got this little piece of square tubing that I cut one side off of, and it's the same width as the shiv. So I'm going to just tack it on here, and that'll keep the wire rope from coming off. I've drilled 3 holes through the lower frame, and now it's time to mount the winch, and I'm mounting it low on the frame to keep the center of gravity down low. I took the wire off the spool just to make it easier to get these bolts in and take care of everything else. These Allen wrench sets like this are convenient because they keep all the different sizes together, and I keep a metric one and an SAE one in my toolbox here. I have separate wrenches in another in my machinist toolbox. They're convenient to keep everything together, but they're kind of a hassle to work with. All right. So we got the 3 bolts there, going to go to the frame. Three nuts. All right, I'm going to go ahead and attach the electrical leads to the winch now. They give you 2 sets of heavy leads. One set goes from the battery to the relay, the other one goes from the relay to the motor. Okay, so this is marked plus and minus. So plus is over on this side. Lock washers and safety nuts. I don't understand why you would use both. Okay, so I've got the winch bolted to the frame and the fair lead fastened to that bracket on the winch. This is the relay. I think I'm going to mount it right here, and I'm going to mount the battery over on this side. And I bought a motorcycle ATV battery. I think it's 17 amp hours, which should provide, you know, plenty of power for occasional use. If I wind up needing more than that, I can always, you know, put on a bigger battery. But that should be fine for right now. All right, so my next step is to go ahead and drill and tap for the relay. And I just mark the holes, drill them, and tap them. Probably 1/4 20. It's a 1/4 20 spiral tap. So the relay is labeled motor minus, motor plus, battery minus, battery plus. So these are the motor leads. So we'll go ahead and put them on. Alright, so I'll get some tie wraps. We'll manage these cables before I tighten those up. Next thing to do is to mount the battery, and for the time being I'm just going to mount this temporarily using this strap. Alright, so this says battery plus over here. Alright, the battery hasn't been charged yet. I put the acid in it a couple hours ago, but it has not been charged. So it needs to be put on a charger for 4 hours. But maybe we can at least try this out. So there's a rocker switch here, but it has a lead which needs to be attached to the battery positive. So we'll crimp on, let's crimp on a fitting there. I'm just going to leave this hanging over the handlebar here in case I need to reach it. So that's working. Okay, so that's a quick and dirty electric winch for the cherry picker. Obviously has much more line on it than I will ever use. And I may actually take some of that off, but in any case, got the battery just mounted temporarily. Need to make a little box for it, fasten a box to the frame there, and set the battery in it. Got cable ties, tie wraps on the cables. I mean, I could cut the cables and re-terminate them, but to be honest, I don't know if if I'll keep the winch on here. I may want to move the winch. I may not be happy with it, and move it to a trailer or something. So I hate to cut the cables at this point until I know that I'm happy with it. So I just tend to leave them the way they are. Got the shivs welded to the top of the frame, one there, one on the movable boom, and we'll test it here in a minute. Let's pick up a transmission, see how it works. Okay, so I've got the cable on the transmission. The transmission weighs about, I don't know, 150 or 200 pounds. So it doesn't seem to have any problem lifting it. Alright, so it at least works for that. Okay, so that's just a real quick and easy conversion. All right, so that was a pretty quick and easy. I think it took me a total, time of maybe an hour and 20 minutes or something to do the whole thing. It's just a standard winch like you would buy at. I bought this at Tractor Supply. It's Traveler 3,500 pound ATV winch. Pretty inexpensive. They had a 2,500 pound winch too for I think $99. I think this one was $149. A couple of pulleys at, I think they were about $15 each. The battery was, I think, $75 or $80. You probably could do with a garden tractor battery, might even be better. For $50, you probably have more amp hours than this battery. I didn't see any garden tractor batteries when I was there, Tractor Supply, when I picked up the winch, so I just grabbed this battery. I think it'll be fine for this application. I think it was $69 or $79. So for, you know, under $300, $250, converted the cherry picker to electric operation. So hopefully that makes sense. I'll play with it, use it, see if I like it. If I don't like it, I'll pull this stuff off and put the winch on something else. So we'll see. All right, so that wraps up this quick little project video. I hope you found it interesting. Appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you next time.